Justin from CanadaWhips.com, and this is going to be a tutorial on the overhead crack. The overhead crack looks like this from the front, from the side, from the back, and from the other side. To start, if you're right-handed, we're going to be swinging the whip counterclockwise. And if you're left-handed, we're going to be swinging the whip counterclockwise. In both cases, the whip is going to be swinging towards you. So your arm goes out and comes in front of your head, out, in front of your head, out, in front of your head. Get used to this swing and make sure that you do it with your entire arm. Remember that the longer a whip is, the louder it is. And so what this means is, by using your whole arm, you're adding 2 to 3 feet to the whip. If you're just spinning with your wrist, you're losing all of this length, and so when you do the overhead crack, it'll sound like this instead of like this. Once you're used to swinging with your whole arm, pay attention to the way that your hand is traveling through the air. You want your palm to stay parallel with the ground at almost all times. So it's flat, flat, flat. I'll bring it over, flat, flat, flat. This is going to ensure that we get the tightest loop possible when we're doing the overhead crack. Step 2 is similar to the cattleman's crack and the reverse cattleman's crack. You have to wait. Once you're swinging, you're going to stop the whip at about a fist's distance away from your forehead. My wrist hits the end of my fist, and this is the ideal place to stop for the overhead crack. Once I've done that, I'm going to wait slightly until the whip has traveled from out here to around and behind my head. This can be a little bit scary because there's a fear of the whip hitting you in the back of the neck, but if you have a strong enough swing, you'll see that the whip fully travels over and comes past my head rather than getting caught behind my neck. Once I'm confident with the weight, the third step is to reverse the direction to get the overhead crack. This is going to feel sort of like an army salute. My arm comes in, stops, and comes back out again, the exact opposite direction to that it was coming in. You really want to go against the grain and stay in this plane the entire time. A lot of people will have issue bringing the whip down or even bringing it forward because they're scared, but the real key is to come in and go back out the same way. Common problems that people have are, as I mentioned, going down instead of going back. So really pay attention to that. It can help to do it slowly without trying to get the crack, just to get a feel for what it's going to feel like. And just videotaping yourself to see, am I bringing it down? Am I bringing it up? Am I bringing it the same way instead of right back? Another common problem is fear, which is something that you just have to overcome. I've seen people duck or lower their head or close their eyes, and all of these things are largely unnecessary once you get the form down, because if you're swinging with enough force, you're keeping your arm parallel to the ground, and your handle is in the right position, the whip is going to travel over your head when you crack it, hence the overhead crack, and you're not going to have an issue anymore. The final problem that people tend to have is that, like I said earlier, they're going to be swinging just with their wrist, and it's going to make it hard for them to get the force and the length necessary to get the crack. So make sure you swing with your whole arm on the way in and your whole arm on the way up. Some variations and tricks on the overhead crack include a body wrap, which looks like this, So I'm swinging the whip as I would before the overhead crack. I'm going to stop the whip at about an elbow's distance away from my body. It's going to wrap around me. And then I'm going to continue that direction to get back into this spin and then do the crack. It's going to feel like you're ducking through the hole that the handle in your hand and arm are making. So I go through it, and now I'm out here. Here. Another variation is to do the overhead crack, spin around, or you can do the overhead crack and pass the whip behind your back to do the overhead crack in the other hand. That looks like this. From the back, it looks like this. That is how to do the overhead crack. Thank you for watching. Please check out CanadaWhips.com to find all the information you'll ever need about whip